Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events from around the world. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're going to explore a story that's been making waves in Mexico with far-reaching implications for the country's justice system and beyond. We're talking about the recent judicial reform implemented by the Mexican government, which has sparked controversy and concern among many experts and citizens. The reform, championed by President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, aims to transform the way judges are selected and held accountable in Mexico. But critics argue that this move could undermine the independence of the judiciary, paving the way for political interference and potentially disastrous consequences for the rule of law. At the heart of the reform is a new system for electing judges, which will see candidates competing in elections to secure positions on the bench. While proponents of the reform argue that this will increase transparency and accountability, others warn that it could lead to the politicization of the judiciary, with judges beholden to political parties rather than the law. One of the most striking aspects of this story is the speed and secrecy with which the reform was implemented. The legislation was passed in a matter of weeks, with many lawmakers and civil society groups expressing concerns that they were not given sufficient time to review and debate the proposals. As we delve deeper into this story, we'll be exploring the potential implications of this reform for Mexico's justice system, its economy, and its people. We'll hear from experts and analysts who will help us understand the complexities of this issue and what it might mean for the future of Mexico. It's a complex and multifaceted topic, and we'll be approaching it with our usual commitment to fairness and balance. We'll examine the arguments on both sides, weighing the potential benefits against the potential risks, and considering the perspectives of all stakeholders involved. So, let's get started on this journey into the heart of Mexico's judicial reform. We'll be exploring the details of the legislation, the reactions from civil society, and the potential consequences for the country. It's a story that's still unfolding, and we'll be keeping a close eye on developments as they happen. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're taking a closer look at the latest developments surrounding Elon Musk's departure from the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. As you may recall, Musk was appointed by President Donald Trump to lead this initiative, which aimed to identify and eliminate wasteful spending in the federal government. Now, as Musk steps down from his role, reactions are mixed on Capitol Hill. Some lawmakers are praising Musk's efforts, calling him an American hero for his attempts to streamline government operations and reduce waste. On the other hand, others are criticizing his methods, citing concerns about the impact of DOGE's cuts on vital government services and vulnerable populations. According to reports, Musk's team at DOGE made significant changes to various federal agencies, resulting in the elimination of certain programs and services. While some argue that these cuts were necessary to reduce inefficiency and waste, others claim that they have had devastating consequences, particularly for low-income families and children. It's worth noting that a recent report by the New York Times shed light on Musk's personal life during his time at DOGE, alleging that he regularly used recreational drugs, including ketamine, while campaigning for President Trump in 2020. Musk has not publicly commented on these allegations, but they have sparked controversy and raised questions about his judgment and decision-making. As we consider the implications of Musk's departure from DOGE, it's essential to examine the facts and evaluate the impact of his policies on the American people. While some may view his efforts as a success, others see them as a failure. As always, we strive to provide a balanced perspective, acknowledging the complexities and nuances of this issue. In a statement, President Trump praised Musk's service, calling him a dedicated public servant who has made significant contributions to the country. However, others have expressed concerns about the long-term effects of DOGE's cuts and the potential consequences for marginalized communities. As we move forward, it will be crucial to monitor the developments surrounding DOGE and its legacy. Will Musk's departure mark a new chapter in the agency's history, or will his policies continue to shape the direction of the federal government? Only time will tell. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We've got a fascinating story to wrap up the show today, and it's all about the potential brain drain hitting American universities. The Trump administration's policies have been making waves in the academic world, and it seems that international students are starting to look elsewhere for their higher education needs. Now, let's dive into the details. The U.S. has long been a hub for top talent from around the world, but with the current administration's funding chaos and immigration uncertainty, other countries like Europe, China, and Canada are stepping in to woo these students. In fact, some universities are even extending open invitations to international students affected by the Trump administration's policies. For instance, after the announcement that Harvard's ability to enroll international students would be terminated, the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology offered unconditional admission and streamlined procedures to impacted individuals. This is just one example of how other countries are capitalizing on the situation. Experts like Chris Glass from Boston College argue that international students are essential to the U.S. scientific infrastructure, bringing diversity, vibrancy, and innovative spirit to the country. They also contribute significantly to key high-skilled sectors such as technology, pharmaceuticals, and artificial intelligence. On the other hand, some might argue that the Trump administration's policies are aimed at protecting American interests and promoting domestic education. However, it's crucial to consider the long-term implications of these decisions on the U.S. academic landscape and its reputation as a research haven. As we weigh the pros and cons, it's clear that the situation is complex and multifaceted. The data suggests that prospective international students are already considering alternative options, with a 38% drop in global interest in U.S. education reported by study portals between January and March. Ultimately, the future of American universities hangs in the balance. Will the U.S. continue to be a magnet for top talent, or will other countries succeed in luring them away? Only time will tell. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay informed.